Hello, welcome to Autumn Fruit. No, this isn't autumn anymore. Hello, welcome to Winter Fruit Reviews, episode 4. And today we have a very special guest, friend Manal.
Hi.
And we've got some lemons. And we're going to make lemon meringue pie.
Yep. This is my dad's favorite pie and also my grandma's and my uncle's and my brother's favorite pie, and I hate it, but we're gonna make it anyways.
Incredible. So we've got some lemons straight from Manal's tree. These are actually, what's it called? Meyer lemons, as opposed to a true lemon according to Wikipedia. Both of which are citrus, both of which are winter fruits, being citrus.
Yeah. The Meyer lemons are tend to be rounder compared to this more oblong and pointy shape. They're also darker, and the bigger they get darker still, and so sometimes people think I have an orange tree, and I don't. I have a lemon tree. They're also a little bit sweeter, so you can technically eat these raw, and I feel like you're probably going to do that at some point.
You shouldn't have said that.
So we have a lemon day where we pick all the lemons off of the tree and cut down half the tree, and we wash, cut, and juice all of the lemons. This year we produced 5.5 gallons of lemon juice. It was a lot.
That's definitely enough lemon juice to do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, it lasts us all year.
If you've got homosexual need involving lemon juice, you need a lemon tree.
Lemon trees are a lot.
But we're going to make a pie. We've already made the pie crust. Well, we've made the dough. We need to roll it out.
It's currently in the fridge chilling, and then we're gonna roll it out and blind bake it, which means that you bake it without any filling in it, and then we fill it and then bake it again.
Okay, I definitely understand that. Alright, let's get started.
My hair is a disaster, and this is fine.
We're separating the eggs right now, because the thing that we need to do is, because this is a lemon meringue pie, we need to make the lemon part and the meringue. And conveniently, the meringue requires egg whites. Please don't mess this up, we only have 6 eggs. And the lemon part requires egg yolks. So we're just going to separate the eggs and use them all thriftily, because that's how we roll.
The lemon part is a curd, the meringue part is a meringue. Why is this so hard to separate right now?
Eggs are hard. Or is this water or is this egg fluid? We're separating eggs. It's very difficult for whatever reason. It said four eggs worth of yolk and 5 eggs of whites. Okay, so we don't want that yolk. We want to toss that yolk. This is fine.
Now
Whisk. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Wow.
See, it's starting to get lighter.
I actually can't because it's in the shadows. Yes.
The air is starting to form into bubbles, and so it's, I can't compare it to the yolk before, but it is starting to get a little bit lighter. These are organic eggs, so they're never going to get as light as non-organic eggs.
Support your local farmers. Buy organic.
What the hell?
I cracked and I bought the 5x5 get some ridiculous discount deal. I was issued a direct challenge by the Lord on that day that I walked into Albertsons and there was a buy 5 discount on Triscuits.
The thing about organic eggs, they usually tend to be orangier. But it's still getting lighter.
Maybe we should say this so the camera can see our faces. Wait, no, I can. I love having a tripod. This shit's good.
Very good.
Very good.
So organic eggs and usually locally sourced eggs, they are more orange than the yolk. It has something to do with what you feed a chicken. Because the yolk is kind of the color of whatever they're fed.
You are what you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're way better than me at that.
I'm very used to it.
Yes.
And look, it's not as orangey anymore.
Okay, valid. It's getting closer to this color.
Yeah. Awkward. I'll be right back.
Now, picking up. Now, the recipe says you whisk together sugar, cornstarch, and water and salt in a medium saucepan and bring to a simmer over medium heat. Sugar, cornstarch, water, salt. Okay, can do that.
We're making a curd, which means we need to temper the eggs. We have to cook things and then put it in the eggs and then put the eggs back on the stove.
Okay. Alright. Let's put it. Let's see. So, we're going to measure those ingredients and also we're going to zest some lemons. Specifically, I'm going to zest some lemons while Manal measures the ingredients because we've got 2 people now and we can do twice as many things.
We need a tablespoon.
Tablespoon. Let's go.
1 1/3 cup of sugar. I have a 1 cup measurement here.
Tablespoon of lemon zest.
My lemons are great.
Their lemons are great.
1/3 cup of cornstarch.
Cornstarch.
Ah! I dropped the butter.
3 tablespoons of butter coming right on up.
And now we need 1 1/2 cups of water.
Okay.
And 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
1 cup coming right on up. 1/2 cup coming right on up.
And now we put it on the stove.
Yay. Acceptable. So we're just trying to get this simmering, yeah?
Yeah.
Should it be on?
Yes.
Yes, that's important. This should be on.
Once that comes to a simmer, we add the butter.
Almost. Well, who knows how long it's going to take for this to come to a simmer. But when it does come to a simmer, butter. Alright, we're in simmering territory. Here goes the butter. Nyam. So it's melting.
And then we mix this until it gets glossy.
This is...
Hi!
Hello.
Once you add the butter, you have to whisk it constantly.
We've put together a mix that the mixture has started simmering. So now it's done this because it's got cornstarch in it. Because if you remember from Autumn Fruit Reviews episode 4, Squish Squash, cornstarch is a bitch. And if it's not a very Rick Astley food ingredient. If you give it up and let it down or run around and desert it, it will make you cry, say goodbye, and tell lies and hurt you.
See, the thing is, cornstarch explodes, so instead of being white, now it's almost translucent as a, thing. Because this used to be, milky color. It explodes, and then makes everything around it, really, almost gelatinize.
Nice.
But if you don't mix it when it's doing that, it just kind of decides that one spot that it gelatinizes in is just going to become solid. And no other part of it is going to feel the effects. Just that one solid space.
So we've been whisking nonstop, and it's great.
But now we have to temper the eggs, which is stressful in its own right. So we have the eggs here that we whisked earlier, so they're a little bit lighter in color, and you see this kind of frothy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a whiskful of this weird, almost gluey texture and put it in here and whisk it very quickly.
Wow, I like it.
See, what we're doing is tempering the eggs because if you put the egg straight into something hot, it's going to cook like scrambled eggs, and that's not what we're here for. We're here for a curd.
There's eggs on the recipe now. It's fine. We'll live.
Now that it's had a third in here, we can just pour it into here.
Oh, nice. This looks like nacho cheese.
Makes sense. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Eat your fruits and veggies, kids. Remember, you don't need drugs to have fun. Stay away from strangers.
Never make a meringue by hand. Don't try to cream cold butter.
Here.
And we also add the lemon juice now.
Yay!
So the lemon juice we're using is the lemon juice I have from Lemon Day this year. It's one of many bottles that we created with the 5.5 gallons we juiced at my house like last week. You want half a cup of lemon juice and also the lemon zest that we made earlier.
Yeah, because we did some zesting.
Okay, I'm just using my hands. Using your hands in baking is always my #1 tip. Don't be afraid of getting dirty. Even if you don't like getting dirty, you're just going to, and you need to accept that if you're gonna bake.
We got the lemon juice. There we go.
And then we turn on the fire again.
Medium heat. Until mixture returns to a boil is the next direction.
So you can usually tell when a curd or a custard turns to a boil when the consistency suddenly changes all of a sudden. Like it like will start being so much harder to whisk.
So who would have thought? We're making a custard and a meringue and a pie. What a great recipe full of fruit.
Technically this isn't a custard, it's a curd. Custards have cream in it, curds don't.
It's a curd.
You can make a curd with any kind of fruit. But lemon is the nicest one because it's already yellow. So it turns out really pretty.
True.
After it boils, you're gonna stir it for 1 more minute.
We're making fruit. I can kneel. That puts me in frame.
How tall are you?
5'11".
I'm significantly shorter than you.
Yes, you are.
I never noticed that.
How tall you perceive people as has a lot to do with a lot of factors.
That's a very interesting thing. I'm 5'4".
Always bake with the buddy system.
It certainly helps.
This is even worse than jacking off with your non-dominant hand.
Okay. I have had different experiences in my life than you.
Hey.
Yeah, it is starting to boil. Ooh, it smells like lemons now.
We're trying to fill our lives with fruit and gay.
Accurate.
That looks painfully hot.
It is pretty hot. Tastes really good though.
Okay, I'm not going to burn myself on camera again. So, as we all know, pie crust is made basically of flour, butter, salt, and water. In that order. No, not in that order. And then you chill it, because chilled dough is much easier to roll. And then you roll it. I have a rolling pin if you want one.
Yes, please. Also, you should flour everything you use, or else everything's gonna stick and you're gonna hate it and it's gonna be horrible. And just like with life, if it cracks, just piece it back together and move on with your life.
It doesn't really mesh with the joke I was going to make, which is that it's just like flour is like lube, but for cooking.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, don't mix those metaphors, perhaps.
Where's the pie tin?
Should be in the frying pans drawer for no particular reason. Pie tin. Butter. Grease.
And then my trick for pie crust is to roll it up on top of the rolling pin. And then put it on. Down into the corners. The goal of putting a pie crust in a tin is to get the air not trapped in the corners. And then what we're going to do is we're going to trim it, but not all the way, because pie crust will shrink a little bit. We put this in there.
So, because we didn't think this through correctly, we needed a double boiler in order to make the meringues. Because this is a lemon meringue pie, which has meringues in it. And it turns out, in order to make... These are French meringues we're making?
Yeah, no.
No?
French meringues are the kinds of meringues that don't have any cooking involved. We're making a Swiss meringue, which means you whisk all of the ingredients together, you cook it, and then you whisk it some more.
Nice. So the cooking device that we're using, because we don't have a double boiler, is this disaster, which is 2 pots held together with forks. So it's great. And we're gonna cook things in it. Thanks for watching our show. What do we got? We got pouring. Let's go.
So it says to reach a certain temperature, but I don't think Audrey over here has a cooking thermometer.
I really don't, actually.
Which means I will do this by eye, and we're just gonna hope it works out for everyone involved.
And we're gonna hope that their eyes are good enough.
The way I usually tell when a Swiss meringue is done cooking is if you can't feel the sugar anymore, if you rub it between your fingers, which is a painful experience if you're not used to it. However, I am an Arab woman, which means that I burn my hands constantly on food. So it's fine. And look, it's starting to get really foamy.
Ooh.
Started very clear, as you imagine egg whites are, but now it's starting to get these little bubbles. It's cooking. It's almost done cooking, actually. Now we're gonna whisk it with an electric mixer.
Oh, I do have an electric mixer. I got one from my mom.
I was supposed to bring mine from home. I live in LA, but I totally forgot about it until the moment I arrived in Santa Barbara, and I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to bring something. But luckily, Audrey's mom graciously lended us this mixer.
My mother is a proud supporter of fruit reviews.
And it's starting to foam up. It looks kind of like... The only thing I know to describe this is it looks like a meringue, and that's just not the right words to describe something that is exactly what it is. So it's not really stable yet, and it will start to deflate, which is what's happening here. We're going to mix it up a little bit more, and it won't deflate anymore, but for right now, it is starting to deflate.
Wait.
Oh,
I can't tell if we're getting it or not. I think we're getting it.
Oh. We're really just putting the most effort into this.
Oh yeah, that's totally not the antithesis of fruit reviews or anything. The thing about meringues is that they take forever to whisk. So, in the meantime, let's bake the pie crust. So we got that right over here. Now, because everything we're putting in this pie is pre-baked, we're just gonna bake the crust all by itself.
Okay,
Oh, I gotta... It's hard. Why?
Because if you don't pierce the bottom, any air that's still trapped in the crust will make it rise.
Bottom, just stab. Okay, so like after like a good half hour of this nonsense, electric whisking, we've achieved medium firm peaks.
Yeah. You can tell that they're medium peaks and not stiff peaks because they fall over, if you like see. but they're sort of keeping their shape regardless. And if you look inside the bowl itself, the shape of it is, it's not falling back into it. Ah!
No! That's a really unfortunate mess.
I spilled some meringue on my pants.
And now it's in my mouth.
Anyways, usually you will beat it until stiff peaks, but it's really hard to whisk a meringue if you don't have a stand mixer with a balloon whisk attachment. If you were doing it by hand, it's going to take at least an hour of whisking, and I do not recommend doing any of that. This is a Swiss meringue, which you can use to make like buttercream and stuff. If you want to make this into buttercream, you just like start whisking butter into it and it becomes this like really delicious frosting. It's way more stable than French meringues, which is what most people are used to making, which is like you just whip egg whites, but that will deflate so quickly.
The oven, I forgot to mention that the pie crust should be in the oven for an hour, right?
Yes.
An hour at 300.
And then 15 minutes at 375 so that it can brown. Because you want to cook it all the way through, but you also want that crispiness of it.
When that's done, we're gonna pop it out and then fill it up. So it looks like we did not puncture the crust well enough. So we need to like be patting it down in order to actually have it be flat, which is going to create some very unfortunate holes in the crust.
Which is normally okay because crusts fall apart the moment you take them out of the tin anyways. Usually I would do this sooner, but I forgot about it. You can also put like baking beads inside of it so that it doesn't fluff up at all, but I don't have any of those because they're expensive for no good reason.
Baking beads?
Yeah, they're like little marbles that you put a piece of wax paper on top and you put the marbles on top of them. You can also use rice or beans, but like it uses a lot of rice and beans, so like if you're not trying to waste food.
Oh, we've got more rice than we can shake a stick at.
Well, that would have been useful.
That would have been useful. At long last, everything's baked. It's now midnight 09 and we started at 8:30.
So long ago.
Yeah.
That's how these pies go.
That's how pies go. Now we're just going to put it together. We've got our three main ingredients. This is soft enough to touch. The pie crust, which is a little burnt, but that's fine. Lemon curd, which is delicious and lemony. That's good.
We got our meringues.
We got our meringues, which are a little deflated, but still plenty creamy and sweet. All right, let's go.
It smells like if lemonade was thick and edible.
Ooh, thick.
We should get a spoon. That seems like a good choice. And then we put the meringues on top. Technically, this is all ready to eat. It's all cooked. But we're going to attempt to broil it a little bit so that we can get it like crunchy, because that's how like most meringue pies are served.
Like meringues, you know, the little puff-shaped things that you go.
So we're gonna put it under a broiler for like 3 minutes.
See what happens.
You can use a torch, but I left my torch at home.
Yeah, you can't take torches on airplanes. Bad idea.
No.
Yeah, you can eat it now. So, what's your review of the fruit?
Very sweet. Very lemony. The lemons that grow in my backyard are better than other lemons.
Hot take. It really is like lemonade, but a gel. Lemonade gel. Well, it's lemon juice and it's sugar and eggs, apparently. You don't usually find eggs in lemonade. That sounds like a challenge. Someone should take us up on that challenge.
That sounds horrifying.
Alright. We've made it. Let me get the contrast a little. Yeah, no? Maybe? Yeah. Okay, we got some lemon meringue pie. Happy winter. Let's dive on in and see what happens.
It like cracked in the middle.
Yeah, this is just cooling, I think.
Oh my god, it's actually kind of like working.
Clink.
Chink. Oh, that was very good.
Mmm.
This meringue actually worked. I'm shocked.
The crust is a little burnt, but it actually goes, it's totally not a problem with them.
Because it's kind of like the bitterness helps bring it together in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I spilled. I'm very best.
Okay. It's such a rich sweetness. That's honestly the best, the main thing that you're doing to a fruit when you're cooking it, because most fruits are not rich experiences, but most fruit baked goods totally are. This is super rich.
And it's like, but it's rich, but it's also fresh. Like, it doesn't feel heavy eating it.
It feels pretty heavy to me.
Not to me. Mostly because I just like the acidity.
That's true.
Because, like, usually, like, rich foods, I think of, like, chocolate. And chocolate just feels dense.
This feels pretty dense. I'm gonna need to drink some water.
But chocolate just feels dense. This also has that, like, acidity to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it brings it back just a bit. But I definitely do need some water, too.
Two dehydrated bisexual bitches.
Always thirsty.
No. I think that we can call this a success.
The crust is flaky despite the fact that it's kind of burnt. Like, it still works as a crust.
Is this better than most of the time you make it with your family?
I never make meringue pie with my family.
Oh.
We always buy it from Marie Callender's.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said that you didn't. You said that you didn't like this, and I thought that was based on this actual recipe.
No, I don't like lemon meringue pie in general.
Do you like this?
Yes, this is delicious.
Wow, incredible. Well, thank you for joining us on this journey through making a pie and being really gay. So, I hope that you found your culinary, what's it called? Culinary skills, culinary repertoire has been enhanced by this experience of watching this video. And I hope that you join us next time for another thrilling episode of Winter Fruit Reviews.
Bye.
Bye.